last time you guys, last time on our Dungeons and Dragons adventure, you guys treaded through the rest of this battle, fighting against Cephas, his army, and an undead dragon. The Unbroken came through, and they defeated everyone, and it was time for them to enter the castle of Blackstone. Some of the army of Cephas and some of, I guess you could say even Blackstone, had surrendered to the Unbroken, and so a few of them did travel with you all to kind of help aid you as you maybe explore the castle. You were told that there is the king, his wife, and probably some of his soldiers, a powerful wizard. All of these individuals still existed within the castle, and this would be like, you'd have to deal with this. And so you guys decided to enter and found quickly that you could not go anywhere but through one set of doors. All the other doors, as Leaf went to pick lock one, realizing there was no lock, but the door was locked. After scanning and finding them that this was done by some magical means, you all made your way through this long hallway into the room of the king's throne, and there you saw the king, his wife, a set of individuals, probably his armed guard, and you also saw what looked like another individual sitting next to the king. You attempted to have some words, and the king didn't seem to care. He almost seemed as if the city itself was lost, and the castle already seemed to that it was shortly going to be lost. And so his final accomplishment was that he was wanting to kill the Unbroken. However, he did not get that accomplishment because the figure that seemed to be shrouded in black, black as obsidian, burst through the doors, and before any of you really had a moment to react, he had shown up in each of your faces, stabbing you with this long blade that seemingly had all of you fade into black, into darkness. However, Ran, as he was fading to black, casted one spell that brought Corin out of death, but into unconsciousness. It was here that they had heard a loud... It was here that Corin really heard this loud explosion, and right before he fades into unconsciousness, he sees that as he's reaching out to maybe grab Ran, the explosion kind of throws your bodies back, and it's about that time you fade. And that's where we're gonna start today's session. So, Frederick, as you find yourself fading into the black, into the darkness, you find yourself feeling you feel like you're in a familiar place. Right now, it's just like you're standing in a void of black, and you're looking around, and you can't seem to see anything. You may even try to utter some words, but they almost echo away from you. And for a moment, it feels like wherever you're at is familiar, but at the same time, you don't know where you are. You feel familiar but lost at the same time. It's at this moment that you feel like Thorfinn is like reaching out to you, and it's like your vision begins to blur, and as it does, it's before you, the landscape seems to be changing, or you're going somewhere, you're not quite sure, and you find yourself in this pasture of green grass. There's some pretty trees that have sprouted up. You see a long, beautiful river that kind of flows. You can almost like you can feel the land itself. And you look up in the sky and you see three very large beasts flying overhead. You take a moment to focus on those beasts to see that these are dragons, and quickly taking note that you see a silver dragon, a bronze dragon, and a gold dragon, and they're flying above you, just kind of in a circle. You look about, you hear birds chirping, you almost feel at peace where you're at, and a little part of you may begin to wonder, is this my afterlife? Is this where death has taken me? You continue to take note of your surroundings as everything then slowly begins to shift and change again. You find yourself now back into this black void, and you hear rumbling in the room. You hear Thornton's voice, but you can't seem to discern what he's saying. It's like he's trying to say something to you, but you just can't discern it. It's like it's almost mumbled, but it's loud. And that's all that you hear in this moment, as you find yourself continuing to hear this. Leaf, as you had faded to black, you find yourself in an unfamiliar place as well, a place of void, similar to Frederick, but you don't see any of your friends. You're by yourself. You immediately feel yourself looking for Sonny, to find that he's not by your side. You instinctually go to your defenses, but you find that your weapons aren't there, and your landscape begins to blur and change. And as it does, you take a moment to step back as this bright light flashes into your eyes. And as it does, you find yourself in a small village. And it takes a moment to realize that this is a familiar village. This is the village where you grew up, and you find yourself near maybe 50 yards from your house. And you see, coming out of the front door, you and Sonny playing some type of game, or you're running off from your parents again. Either way, you're watching it. And however, this is like a memory, basically. But part of your memory that you don't remember is that Sonny just kind of disappears, and you find your younger self asking where he is. You hear yourself yelling for him, trying to see where he's at, and he doesn't seem to be anywhere. You look back to your house, your version, and your younger self, to see that it's on fire, and that your village is almost like falling apart. There seems to be some sort of creatures, but it's hard to tell exactly what's happening. As your vision starts to fade, you feel a rushing wind over yourself as you're taken back into this void. You immediately see red ash begin to flow around your feet, and you see in the distance as the land around you begins to form into this desert, deserty but dark, almost ash-like terrain, and you find yourself at a place you've never been before. It feels like the wind in this place blows hot air in your face. It feels like it seems like volcanic ash is kind of blowing along with it. It takes you a moment to kind of look around and focus again, and off in the distance you see a individual. In this individual, some of the features you notice first are that you see this tall, red-dressed individual, and this individual seems to be looking in your direction. And then this individual seems to be taking steps in your direction, and for a moment it seems like you blink and you can see that there's this female in your face with black eyes, and it seems to be elvish in nature, but it's hard to tell, as there seems to be tears of blood that comes out of her eyes, and she looks at you. She kind of tilts her head and she asks you a question. She says, "Do you know who I am?"
Should I?
She kind of just smiles for a moment. And then out of her hand, she kind of instantly seems to form what looks like this scythe. And she kind of holds it to her side. And she says, "Not many get to have a conversation with me, but you're special." It seems throughout your history in life, this is where your spirit has come. And I have to decide where you go from here. She looks at you. "I'm the keeper of souls." Tell me, where do you think you should go?
I don't know what I deserve, but I know what I would like. I would like to see my brother again. I would like to see my friends again. I would like to defeat the thing that put me here and save the world that I am from.
She kind of looks at you and she says, "That's admirable. But I'm going to have to send you somewhere that you will rest. And maybe you'll find Sunny there." As she takes her scythe, she swings it through your body, and it's almost as if everything of you kind of begins to fade, and you find yourself back into this black void, looking around, unsure of where you're at again. The air is no longer hot. It feels like there's nothing. And that's where Leaf finds herself. And then Ran.
Bring it.
You find yourself fading to black, but quickly, as you do, you feel your life as it ends. You find yourself not necessarily in a black void, but you almost feel yourself standing on nothing. You're not quite. It's almost like you're hovering, and you find that the area around you now, as you've faded into death, you find yourself waking up, and you're almost like hovering, and you're immediately looking around to see that there is a bright. It's like you're in a very bright room, and you're standing on what looks like water, like an endless ocean, and it's the most crystal clear water you've ever seen. And you look down, and it seems like it just goes endless. You can almost see all the way through this water. It goes endless. And you're looking around, and you don't see anything notable as you spend your time attempting to look. You take a moment, and you find yourself looking into the water again to see your reflection. You see yourself, but as you do, it starts to remind you of who you are. You're not just a person. You're not just a warrior, but you start to get these feelings of like, I'm a cleric of Torna. Like I've built temples. I've done all these things, and that seems to reflect onto you. And then you're met with your question that seems to come to your mind is, but why am I here now? And then you look up to find, you see all of your friends off in the distance, your companions. You remember seeing Stephen as he had walked with you early on in your journey, and you remember sharing moments with him. You see Frederick, who is laughing and joking and being silly and attempting to practice with weapons that may seem difficult to normally practice with, but you see him doing so. You see Cephas before he betrayed you, sharing drinks with you, eating food, just having a good time. You see Leaf, who is constantly watching your back, trying to give wise counsel and lead. You see Corin, your brother, who is standing there looking at you. And even though you seem to focus in on Corin, and as you do, you realize that your differences with him don't change the fact that he's your brother. And there's something about Corin to you in this moment that just sticks out. You don't know what it is. Maybe it's just that he's your brother and you love him, and you don't know what's happening and you don't know where you stand. And then seemingly coming out from the middle of your friends is another individual. And this individual is very familiar to you. And you can tell that she is a female, and she's wielding this, comes walking in this full clad of plate armor, and she's holding this mace in one hand and a shield in the other. You see this golden like hair that is wrapped up in a ponytail. And she begins to walk towards you, and as she does, you feel almost like you're descending and you're laying like on your back, and you find yourself that you're not able to move. And she walks up over to you to hover over you, and she looks at you. And immediately you recognize, you've not seen her face this clearly before, but you see that this is Torna. And she stands over you and she looks at you and she says, Rand Warren, what happened?
We failed. I failed.
She takes a moment, and you actually see that she like kind of smiles, and she looks at you. She says, Rand, you've done so much in my name. I could show you a whole list of memories and things that, because of what you've done and how it's affected others, I don't think you truly understand the weight of what you've done.
In this moment, does Rand understand? Like, is it clicking in his head where he's at? Like, potentially.
You start to, I mean, you kind of feel like you know where you're at. You definitely feel like you've died. But as far as location wise, a place that's coming to your mind because you've studied Torna is that you're starting to think that you are in a place called Viostranara, which is a divine realm where Torna would be residing.
Right. I just do I have the ability to like look around now that I've been kind of like laid down and she's hovering over me.
Yeah.
kind of take in what I. Sorry, my dog is being obnoxious.
It's okay.
Take in what's going around me, and then immediately just Corn. My brother, did he make it?
She looks at you and she just kind of nods. And she tells you, your brother's alive. Unconscious and in a very dangerous place. What do you hope to achieve now? What is it that you want to do now that you're here? Before you can respond fully, she kind of points off in the distance, and you follow her finger as it seems to go to a glimmering white castle off in the distance. It seems so beautiful, so far away. And she looks at you and she tells you, you can join me there. But before you can, I still need you to do a couple things for me. And she kind of looks down at you. She says, do you think you can do that?
Can Rand get up? Like, does he have the ability to get up?
At this moment, your body just kind of feels numb. It's like you could probably try, but it's like you almost can't feel any of yourself right now.
Can I save my brother?
He's already saved. He's alive.
And whatever you ask of me.
She looks down at you and she tells you, your time's not up. She holds her hand out for you to grab it, which as soon as she does, you feel a feeling kind of course through your arm.
No hesitation. Reach up and reach out.
As you reach up and reach out, you grab the hand of her, and as you do, you immediately gasp for air as you sit up to find yourself back in this castle. And as you do, you look around to see everything is groggy, everything is blurry, everything is like you just woke up from a super deep sleep, and you're feeling all kinds of things, but you immediately come out of that realm. It's like a rushing wind and light that just kind of blinds you, and you feel this rushing wind take over you. And as you kind of open your eyes and you kind of pull yourself up for a moment, you are trying to gather yourself, and you gasp for air. You might begin to cough, and as you do, you hear coughing around you and nearby as Frederick and Leaf, you both gasp for air as you are now coughing, trying to gather that steady airflow that you normally do. You find yourself being pulled out of wherever you were. And you're groggy and blurry, and you begin to look around. You're trying to rub your eyes. You're trying to stabilize yourself. You're all feeling achy and horrible. And you see that there is one individual standing kind of nearby all of you. And as you do, this individual's hand seems like there's some sort of light that is now fading from it as he's like looking about all of you.
Unbroken, arise.
Rand's getting up, dusting himself off, and immediately looking for a threat.
Where is
Any of the
Sunny?
undead, any of the zombies, anything like that. And then immediately trying also to like clock where Corn's in the room.
Okay. Sonny is right there with you. He's coughing. He's waking up out of death. And he's immediately like locking eyes with you, and kind of like you can just see that there's like shock on his eyes, on his face. Rand looking for Corin. Corin, you are also waking at this moment as well, out of consciousness. Rand, you do see your brother Corin not too far from you, probably maybe 6 or 7 feet away.
Okay.
Trying to slowly get up and just look around, and then hearing that source, and just look over to see who was speaking to us.
I just stand there stoically.
Okay.
What do we see?
As you begin to gather your surroundings, you see standing, as all of you are slowly beginning to get yourself up. You see before you there is actually somebody familiar to you, but not who you might expect in this moment. Rather, you see the wizard that was sitting at the side of the king, who had just casted the cloud of daggers against you all, just what felt like mere moments before. The wizard that Leaf had stabbed once, attempting to stop his spell and this individual.
You have us at a severe disadvantage.
Immediately bring up 3 magic missiles, just standing there ready to throw at him.
Leaf is throwing herself between him and Sunny and pulling out daggers.
Yeah, Ran definitely at least gets half of a shoulder in front of Corin between this guy and him.
I want to say, right as all of you guys are like ready to go at him, I feel like that's when Frederick finally wakes up and he's, son of a,
Don't forget about
What is-
Bass.
ooh, what's going on? Why are you all? Oh! And I immediately like stumble up and grab my dart and like start swinging. I'm like, I guess this is what we're doing after. Did we just die? Did that really just happen?
Please.
Cool, good talk.
Rand gives him like Rand gives him like a head nod. And yeah, that what you think happens.
Please, all of you, stand down. I know you must be very confused right now. Before I proceed, are all of you okay?
How does Rand feel? Is he like 1 hit point type deal, or
Yeah, so you guys all come back at 1 HP, essentially, and you are all your spells that you've used are still used. You're basically at to where you were before you died. The only difference that you're seeing now is as you're all slowly getting up, going to your defenses, is that it seems where Bass was, he appears to be more of a pile of clockwork and gears right now, and he has yet to get up.
What?
He seems to be like more like his machine self that he once was seems to be more spread apart in like gears and things of such. It's like springs and gears and cogs and wheels in kind of his place.
He was he was a warforged? Okay, who sees that?
I'm just kind of I'm going through my head and my notes in my head. I'm like,
Yeah.
He was technically, I think, a human race, but he was clockwork.
But like, do we all see that he's still on the ground? Like
Yeah,
who sees him?
you see like his body, but it seems like it's been severely damaged to where like parts of his clockwork is not in places that it's supposed to be, and it's more of just like a pile of you could say like his clockwork self.
I'm afraid my magic couldn't reassemble your friend. Again, I'll ask, are each of you okay? Are you stable?
Uh, stable's an apt word.
I mean, I feel like I pulled a muscle in every part of my body. So, not great, but I'm here.
What do you want?
Again, you must be very confused. I don't have very much time to explain because it seems Crexius's plan is already underway, and I motion towards the hole in the floor. See, let me just introduce myself. I'm Fitzrollo. I am the apprentice to the Grand Wizard Mordenkainen, and I've been sent here to assist you on your journey. Now I know I was just hurling spells at you and preventing you from entering this room. But you see, I struck a deal with a wizard that you might know, Excipio. I needed to be close to the Black Hand, close to the king, in order to meet you here at this specific time, this hour. You've faced a lot. This group has, although I'm very confused why Corin is still here. But things don't always turn out as we expect. Me and my master, we stumbled upon an anomaly in our research that led to the discovery of the multiverse. And that must be very confusing for you to hear, but Crexius is a threat to the multiverse, and he must be stopped. And as we've dived into extra dimensions and traveling through time forwards and backwards, we've discovered many ripples, but we've seen cause and effect of many choices. I'm not from this universe. But the events that will unfold here, unless you, the Unbroken, intervene, will have cosmic repercussions. So we have one chance and one chance only to stop Crexius before he unleashes war among the gods, spanning across multiverses.
What deal did you make with Scipio?
I gave him gold. That's all I had. And knowledge.
What
And he gave
knowledge?
me a crown. A crown that would be controlled by the king here, that I would wear to be controlled by him. And I gestured to the crown that is lying on the floor that was once on my head.
What knowledge did you give him?
That remains to be seen. But Excipio
Where
is not a threat to us in any way.
where is he now?
That information is unknown to me. I'm sure you're wondering who the Obsidian Man is. Some call him an avatar of Crexius. We don't know much about him or his existence, but we assume that he harnesses the full power of Crexius's godhood as an avatar here in this plane.
It's much worse than I thought.
Indeed.
Where does he go now?
The Avatar is attempting to collect 3 orbs in order to summon Crexius to this plane, where he will conquer and enslave Telestia, angering the gods in an attempt to ascend to godhood himself. And this plunges Telestia and the rest of this realm into a war of the gods. Many gods have many powers. And the gods already know of the multiverses, and in order to win, certain deities call upon other versions of themselves, and it creates a ripple that spreads throughout all of existence everywhere. My master swore he would never get involved with the fate of anything, but this is our only hope for anything to exist ever again. So we have to try. If we can stop the Obsidian Man from summoning Crexius, we can stop that future from ever unfolding. The reason it can only be us is because Crexius doesn't see you as a threat. But he doesn't know that you know his plan, and that we have the power to stop him.
Where do we begin?
I'll explain more details of the plan along the way, but first, we need to pay a visit to your friend Stephen. We must descend into that hole. Are you ready?
I'm gonna.
Don't trust you.
I
I'm
think
gonna. Go,
Frederick just immediately starts laying back down on the ground and like, you know, I was in kind of a nice place. I saw these really cool dragons. It was really nice, really beautiful. I'm good. I think I'm just gonna lay back down. I think we're good. I don't think I can take on a god, a death god, to be exact. Right? Is that what we're going at here? We're supposed to take on a god of death or undeath, whatever he is.
There is one other thing we do have going for us.
There's more. Great. This is awesome. Continue. Yep.
Within this group, we harness the power of a god ourselves. Because you see, while Crexius has his avatar, Torna has her avatar. Ranwarin.
can't get his name
This
right.
is your
Damn, we
side.
don't.
No. We have a Warren. We don't have Warren. Is that who you said?
I see.
Oh, the other avatar. That was his other multiversal counterpart.
No,
Warren.
wrong universe. Wrong
There
universe.
was Taran
Spelling
and
depends
Warren.
on
This is
yeah.
Corin and
Right.
Warren. Got it.
Of course, another ripple.
on Earth
As
657.
We've nibbled enough with this timeline already. I can see that many things have already changed, but Ran, are you ready to accept your status as the avatar of Torna? Only you can know.
He'll take a step forward. I already told her whatever it takes and whatever she'll ask.
And as for the rest of you?
I follow my brother.
Frederick's waiting for everyone else to decide.
And what say you, Leaf?
Leaf turns back to Sunny.
You just see he's standing there, kind of on guard, just as you are. Kind of just looks at you, unsure himself in this moment, kind of following your lead.
I can't watch you die again.
You don't have to. Listen, it seems like you're called to this. I don't know. I don't know who this guy is. I don't trust him either. But I've never heard somebody come to me and start saying this stuff. I don't know. But we do know one thing, is that there is a god about to destroy everything, it sounds like. Well, what choice do we have now? Maybe we should just go with him. It's not like we can go back home right now, right?
You could. They're not after you.
Is that what you want?
I want you safe.
You can see there's definitely like a feeling of sorrow that kind of hits his eyes as he just kind of stares at you. this a joke?
I can't stop you from coming with us. I will follow them to the ends of the earth, but I cannot watch you die again. I chased ghosts for months trying to find you, and I finally found you and then watched you die. I can't have my mistakes cost you your life.
Wow. He kind of looks over towards the wizard, and he kind of looks at you. Do you know if I'm a part of this plan?
If you're willing to fight, you can join us. If not, the city of Blackstone has fallen. Outside of these walls, this place is crawling with undead. But there is a secret tunnel near the basement of this castle that will lead you safely outside the walls of the city. That is the only safety I can guarantee you.
Sonny looks back to you, Leaf. I can go there. I can find my way back home. I can find Mother. I can keep her safe, and we can wait for you to come back home. But it's only if you promise me you come back home.
I can't promise that.
You see, he kind of grins for a moment. He's like, "Yeah, I know that's a hefty promise, but we'll be waiting anyway." Besides, I don't think I'm as veteran in combat maybe as you were. You fought so brilliantly. I haven't had time to tell you that. I'm definitely rusty. I'll go take care of Mom. And we'll be waiting for you to come back with your friends. And he kind of looks over to the rest of you. It's your responsibility to keep her safe now.
Give him a head nod.
Kind of looks back to Fitzrollo and just kind of nods his head.
Oh.
Okay.
Wait.
Leaf is gonna pull 15. 5 of the papers of sending out of her bag and hand it to him.
No, I got it. I'll give him.
No, he's taking mine. This is a moment.
I have 60.
Okay, I have 15. Now I have 10. She's gonna hand him the papers.
He takes
Out of character, Mr. DM. Sorry, I forgot what my best friend's name is.
Oh no. Really? How?
We haven't
Oh.
talked about her in so long.
let me find her really quick for you.
Kai. Kai.
Yeah.
Right to Kai. She's with Mom now. Tell her you're coming. Tell her where to meet you. Do not go home.
Okay.
If you die, I will kill you.
Okay. And if you die, he like looks at the rest of you. I will kill all of you.
If she's dead, we're probably all dead.
I'm just saying it stands.
Go take care of Mom.
And as
So-
for you, Frederick,
He's coming too.
Yeah, well, hold it. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. You had your moment. Let me have my moment. Are we okay? No, let me. Are we actually doing this?
What
I
choice
mean-
do we have? Go home and watch the world die?
I mean, you're not wrong. Look, I'm all for taking the biggest guy in the room. I love a challenge. I don't fight gods. And Frederick will kind of take his amulet and just kind of hold it for a second. Does he feel anything? Any connection to Thorthan? Hear anything?
Right now, it almost feels like you've lost a connection. Like there's nothing. It feels like an amulet. Just a piece of equipment. Right now at this moment, there's nothing coming through to it. There's no warm feeling. There's no cold feeling. There's no angry feeling. It's just seems like it's just acting as if it's just an amulet right now.
Just a piece of metal.
Yeah.
Fine. All right, fine. There's nowhere else for me to go. And I look over at Rand. I better get some god powers or whatever you're getting to if we're fighting gods, because that sounds cool as shit. Let's do this. Let's do it.
okay.
Rand turns back. We've been called, and we answer.
Splendid. Our journey begins with descent. Gather near me. I will cast Featherfall, and we can descend. Seems as though Crexius's avatar has paved the way for us.
Another feather fall.
This is less dangerous, I feel like, than the featherfall we did. I'm gonna grab Rand's shoulder and just look at him. We can't leave Bass here like this.
Wait, do we have a bag of holding?
No, we don't.
No, we don't.
Damn it! Let's just shovel all his
Is he
cogs into the bag of
literally-
holding.
Is he literally just is it just a pile of cogs
So I mean,
and gears and arms? Like,
no, it's just like a like he's been like destroyed essentially. So like his body, from what seems like possibly the explosion that had happened to create this hole, has thrown him back and has thrown parts of him just kind of everywhere. And as he lays, it's just like it's kind of a mess. And for you looking at it, you have no idea how you would be able to even put him back
Right.
together, that kind of thing. It seems like even in looking at it, the damage is definitely been done.
Is his head like missing? Like, was this? I'm not trying to be morbid,
Yeah,
but is his like head is like in a different place?
it's like, I mean, it's attached, but parts of it is
Okay.
definitely like destroyed essentially.
I understand your concern, but there's nothing we can do at this moment.
We need to warn
If-
Cal.
If we can defeat Crexius, perhaps we can bring an artificer here to help your friend. Nevertheless, our journey is downward.
It's gonna
I
close his
cannot reach
eyes.
out to Cal.
They said they could send messages out, right? We just couldn't get in.
Yes, that was a spell of my doing. Since my awakening back into my own consciousness, that spell has been unraveled.
Leaf is gonna pull out one more piece. Scribble like the quickest. Blackstone has fallen. Overrun with undead. The crystal has become something. Do not come here. Like all caps, do not come here.
Are you
Like-
sending a message to the army?
I'm sending a message to our friend.
Understood.
He's a liaison between the Unbroken and the King. Esseron?
Yes.
Sorry, which one of you is communicating with Esseron?
She is. I mean, she's writing the paper.
Leaf, if you can send a message to the king, have him divert his forces to the Scorched Lands. We will meet them there.
P.S. This wizard dude says to go to the Scorched Lands, not here.
Once I've rested, I can send a message also to the King.
Splendid. We will have time to rest soon, but for now, we must continue.
How deep is the
Gonna
this
cast False Life
hole?
on myself and use my last spell slot.
Looking down in this hole, it seems like it runs deep, like deeper than probably normal. You can't just jump down. The first maybe floors, you could probably climb down if you wanted to, but it seems like it actually goes into the ground a ways,
So
through the
deeper
foundation.
than like 80 feet, right?
Yeah, probably. It seems like
Dang.
it does get dark, so it's hard to tell exactly. You do see what looks like maybe some from where you're at now, just looking down the hole. There's like this glimmering light, so that's almost like kind of towards the bottom. That is just, it's like glimmering, and every once in a while it like flashes. You don't really know what that is, but
Okay.
Are we ready?
Let's go.
What's the likelihood of us facing danger as soon as we get there?
That I don't know. I don't know all the details moving forward, as so many details are already different.
How long does Featherfall last?
I'll put it in the
17
chat real
minutes.
quick.
It's a minute duration.
One.
They fall 60 feet per round.
Okay. All right. Once we reach the bottom, let me help my friends, and then we can continue on.
Understood. Mordenkainen said the path would be made available to us after this point. And I trust him with everything that I have. So if we're ready, I will cast Featherfall. Prepare to jump.
okay. You guys feel the magic overtake you as all of you jump down into the hole. I will say, for our spellcasters, really, I guess everyone, Mordenkainen is not a name that any of you know.
I was gonna ask if I would, if anything as a wizard, wouldn't have heard of him or.
Yes, you actually haven't heard of this individual before. So as he speaks of this person, he speaks of great like importance about this person, but you guys don't know who this person is. The Mordenkainen, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
Out of character, you probably do, but
And I was like, I can't tell if that name sounds familiar to me or to Sunny or to
Yeah.
Leaf.
yeah. So you guys jump down into the hole, and it takes you as you find your way. You're floating gracefully down to the bottom. You find Purchase onto the ground, at which you see a nearby room that, due to part of whatever method was used to get down here, has been blown open, and this room kind of stands before you, flashing with energy and light, and you see that this room is not very big, but inside there are a lot of these you could say batteries and different things, different mechanics that seem to be worked towards something, and on what seems like a small platform, almost held up by some kind of bounds, is Corin and Ran. You would recognize this to be a malfunctioning, seemingly looking Steven, who is currently like light and almost like electricity is basically shooting out of him, and you can see in the middle of his chest there is almost like something is opening up slowly, and you can see his body. You remember that when he goes to combat he would turn red. Well, right now his red light is blinking red, and he's just kind of like, he seems like he's active maybe, but he's just kind of like hung up there, essentially. Arms kind of are out, but you see part of his body has like definitely from the chest down has been like ripped open, it seems like.
Is there anybody else in this area?
No, it's just you guys.
Just us and Steven?
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, you said he's like hung up, or like how high?
Not high, it's just kind of made to be kind of a part of this other machine that he seems to be somewhat attached to. Nearby you do see some monitors and such that are showing what looks like possibly vital signs, but not his, rather a larger dragon that is also blinking red, showing signs of like no life, destroyed essentially.
Is he restrained in any way?
It seems like it. It seems like whatever machine he is currently attached to, he's not just like tied up, but he's like, somebody has like forced him up here essentially, by means of like physically using tools and like has got him here.
Don't.
We'll walk up.
Well, yeah, I'm gonna start.
We'll walk up to him.
I'll call out his name. Steven. Steven, can you hear us?
You see there's like a slight movement of the head as it just kind of like slowly folds its way over to you. You hear as it just like creaking, cracking sounds of metal that's scraping just parts of his, even where his neck attaches to like his torso. The metal that is scraping just to turn his neck over to see you. And as he does, I mean, you traveled with Steven long enough to kind of understand some of his emotions as he began to learn them. And so he sees, and you kind of like see the moment where like his eyes are realizing who's before him. He says nothing. As you,
Does he look in pain?
it does, yeah, he kind of looks like he's in pain, but he also looks like he's like maybe like he could be in a way like super drugged up, like he's just out of it.
Right.
Being this close to him, however, you do notice that his chest particularly is like cratered, and there is like this small light that is like circling, and the longer you stand here, the more you see that it's starting to grow a little bit.
I don't think this technically will work, but Ram will walk up and place a hand on his shoulder, looking him dead in the eyes, and try to cast Spare the Dying. But it doesn't affect construct, so I don't know how that works with him.
Yeah. You looking back on your history with Spare the Dying and Steven, you know that before this has worked, and it would work. However, as you go to cast Spare the Dying, you see that there's whatever is interacting with his chest almost like shocks your hand. And you see that Steven looks at you and he kind of mutters out and just a faint, like, it won't work.
Is
What
there
is
anything
it?
we can do for you now in this moment?
He looks at you and you hear, I'm sorry.
Did you find your mother?
Yes.
Is she still alive?
I don't know.
What is this on your chest? And I point down to the glowing thing that seems to be glowing brighter slowly.
I speak up. Don't touch that.
Not touching it.
I can explain that in a moment if you'd
Explain
like
it
to.
now.
It's killing
If there's a
Steven.
way to disarm it, we need to disarm it.
It's killing him?
There's no way to disarm it. These are the final moments you have with your friend.
What is it?
King of Blackstone was using one of the orbs that Crexius was seeking to connect with Steven to power the Warforged dragon that you may have seen flying around Telestia. It was an attempt to advance the technology here, but they didn't realize what they were messing with. We've seen this event unfold many times. When Crexius' avatar rips the orb from this machine, it causes a catastrophic failure that creates this anomaly that spawns from the middle of your friend Steven.
How do we fix it?
You can't. It will expand into a portal that we must traverse.
So we take it out of him.
You can't touch it. It'll only shock you. No spell will work.
I don't cast spells. I don't need magic. I will cut it out of him. I swore the next time I saw him, I would kill him. And I want this thing out of him.
I'm afraid there's nothing, to my knowledge, that we can do. But wait. The spreading of this portal as it opens will kill your friend and consume his energy. We are here to walk through that portal.
Where does it lead?
If this timeline plays out like the rest have, it should lead to Emirn. Crexius' realm. First layer of hell. My master and I, we have a fortress there. A tower of sorts. Where we can rest. And I can go over the rest of the plan with you. But for now, this is where you say goodbye to your friend.
Insight check?
Yeah, definitely.
Go ahead.
I need to go say goodnight to my kid. She's not going to go to sleep without it. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Seems like a trustworthy fellow. See you later, Steven. Do, 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 do.
Fitzrolla, if you have anything that you would maybe are hiding, you would need to roll a deception check. Otherwise, Ren will pick up.
Do a straight roll. So we can't. So we don't see if it's deception.
Yeah, just add your own modifier. Yeah.
Or you can roll it to me if you want it
Yeah.
to.
Do I just toggle GM roll?
Yeah, that should work. You could click on the... Yeah. Okay.
Hold on. Cool.
Okay. As you're listening to Fitzrollo and kind of gauging your situation here with Steven, Corin, it's hard for you to tell. You don't really like have any basis for, like, there's no evidence that you can seem to find that says he's lying. You're trying your best, but you just don't pick anything up. Ran, there's something about his the way he's talking to you and the situation that tells you there's more that maybe not is being said.
Out with it now. What else is there?
I'm sorry. A lot of this has been hard for me personally to comprehend. Because you see, the more that me and my master meddled with this timeline, the more ripples we created, the more events would slightly change. I don't fully know what's going to happen next. I just know how this has played out in the several hundred times before that we've studied this, in these particular events.
So is is Steven's body just completely? I'm sorry, you said his chest cavity is ripped open.
Mm-hmm.
There's a blinking light. We see this compartment opening.
Yeah, rather more of like this arcanic energy that is forming.
There's a build up.
Yes.
Will this portal happen whether he's dead or alive?
Portal's it's a part of him. I mean, can't you tell he's becoming the portal? It almost like consumes him, transforms him. The mysteries of these orbs, these artifacts, are vast. We can't understand the magic behind them, other than they are ancient, and they were designed to bring Crexius to this plane of existence.
I only ask just to see if this is going to be a painful transfer for him, if there's a way to let it pass less painfully for him, if that makes sense. So if it's something where we can give him a swift death now before he feels the pain, or if it's something where he needs to be alive for this portal to manifest, then if there's a way for us to like calm him or again make it easier. I mean, he's your guys' friend, right? I suppose you'd want him to pass somewhat peacefully.
I have nothing that can help.
Steven's own life force is what's keeping the portal from expanding.
So him dying would just speed up the process.
That is what we've seen.
You can see that he's like, Steven in this moment is like understanding, seemingly like listening, it seems. just not really responding. There are moments where he moves slightly, but his movement is already kind of restricted, and the position that he's in kind of leaves him weak, essentially.
Steven, you heard what he had to say. Do you understand in these moments what the implications are?
He looks at you and starts to kind of like nod his head slightly.
Put my hand on Rand's shoulder. This is my area of expertise.
And as you say that, Steven actually shakes his head no. And he mutters, "I can let go."
I forgive you, Stephen.
At which point he just kind of looks at both of you as this blinking red light slowly begins to fade into kind of more of a steady red light that then you hear kind of a click that turns off. And as it does, you see the once life of Steven looking back at you seemingly in a moment dissipate. And as it does, his chest cavity, what was forming there, begins to start growing faster as it begins to turn into this wavy, rather oval-like, you could say, channel or basically this portal begins to open up rather quickly. And as it does, it begins to kind of overtake Steven's entire body as you watch as the portal then begins to cover his face as you see it for the last time. As then it covers him from head to toe, tall enough for your group and wide enough for all of you to walk through. And as you begin to kind of look through it, it's hard to tell, but the portal itself shows it's just super wavy. It's like and even around the portal, it's like air is like moving. It's hard to really understand this because you haven't traveled through many portals before. You do remember a portal when you went to go fight the giants long ago, probably Ran and Corin, when you were in the forge. This is very similar to that. However, on the other side of this, all you see is it seems dim, not dark. And you see maybe what looks like stone, but it's hard to tell exactly seeing through to this side.
Well, go on then, lead the way. Look back to the wizard.
This is the only way we can get to the realm of Crexius without him noting. In all of our research, looking at the timeline, this was one thing that Crexius didn't know would happen. This was a complete accident. We're going to proceed, and I will lead you to Mordenkainen's tower here in Emirn, and we will rest there, and I'll go over the plan with you. Do you have any questions before we proceed?
Just making sure you go in front of us.
Follow me. I step through.
I'll fall behind.
As you all begin to traverse, Frederick, you can't help but notice nearby on the ground something that looks just looks kind of cool to you. As you see like a set of mechanical bagpipes that seems to be left. You have a chance to take this with you, or you could just leave it behind.
Frederick would definitely reach over. Oh, it's like my pan flute. I'm gonna grab it, like just bigger. Yeah, cool. I just like put it over my shoulder, and it like makes just the weird deflated bagpipe noise when you just flop it onto something as I'm just like carrying it through the portal.
And you all follow Fitzroy through the portal, and as you do, again, it's like uneasy feeling as you one step in, and as soon as you're through, you're in a completely different place. All of you instantly feeling hot. The temperature here has got to be over 100 degrees. It's red. It seems like the sky is red here. And it takes a moment to kind of keep your balance as you look around. Immediately, some of you begin to start sweating even as you find yourself in a very evil place. Ran, you immediately just know that this place is not a good place for people like you. And yeah, you guys are now in the first layer of hell. Yeah, Amirn.
Would I actually feel more comfortable? Like, I do have resistance to fire, and I am a tiefling, so
That's right.
not that I would feel more comfortable, but
Yeah,
would
I would
the
say as
temperature
a,
really change for me?
for you, it probably feels more comfortable, probably actually, being a tiefling, and just your natural resistance to fire because of that. Yeah, this place is like, it's not like home to you, but it is just like comfortable.
Right.
And it's you actually kind of feel warm to where everybody else.
A nice cozy warm.
Yeah, that's probably kind of how it is for you. The rest of you, not so much.
Everybody's coming in here sweating and breathing heavy. I'm just like, ooh, nice.
Okay, as you all approach through, looking about, you can see far, but you also see what looks like creatures maybe flying way above you and way off in the distance. You guys can kind of see that. For some of you, like Ran, you just feel that there's like danger all around you. Corin, this is a place unknown to you. All of you have probably heard about this place, at least the Five Hells in general, and that it's like lorded over by Tirithil, who is like basically the known god of hell. And it's to all of you, you're basically in his first layer. The way that hell works in this game, in my world, is similar to maybe like the normal 5th edition. It's like an onion, and you are currently in the first layer. In order to get to the next layer, you would have to do some pretty drastic things, like kill a gatekeeper that stays in this realm. And you don't know, for most of you, probably all of you, you don't know what that is, who that is, where that is, and that's not really because of what Fitzroy has told you. Sounds like right now that's really not your mission, but that's just some lore dump about this place.
Lore dump.
Y'all are now kind of huddled up together here. You see that Fitzrolo is probably fiddling about himself, trying to figure out what's next from here.
All of you need to keep your heads down. We don't want any unwanted attention while we are here. And then I'm going to be searching the nearby rock face for anything that could have been left behind by my master. Gonna search with my hands.
Okay. You guys watch as he begins to search. You do find, as you're searching, the familiar scroll that was left here long ago. Kind of like you could say maybe emergency or... But you basically find that this was left here and it fills you with joy to see that it's still here.
Good, good. Okay, guys. Going to read this scroll, cast this spell, and it should take us to the tower. And then I do that. I open it up. I read it.
Okay. You watch as Fitzrollo he pulls out this like, not charred, but you could tell it's just like, it's an old scroll. And it takes a moment. He's being gentle with it. He opens it up and he begins to read the words written on the scroll, which seem to come across as unknown to all of you.
Is it infernal?
No, it seems like it was probably almost like its own language, or rather, maybe it's something you don't understand yourself. But as all of you listen, it's like, for some of you that know multiple languages, you're ticking through. It's not this. It's not this. What is this? And as you're thinking about this, all of you being huddled up are immediately feel this rushing wind over all of you, and you're immediately like feel yourself being pulled quickly, and you then find yourself in front of this large tower. For some of you, it's like too much portal and too much that some of you may begin to feel a little sick. But you see that this spell is taking you to this large tower. It's Rolo. This is a familiar tower to you.
Oh, good. We're here. All right. Feel free to peruse some of these supplies. Look, try not to steal anything that you don't want an archmage hunting you down for, but feel free to look through scrolls, anything that you feel like will help you in our journey ahead. I'm going to prepare to rest, and then we can talk about the plan moving forward. We have roughly half a day at most that we can spend here.
Where is your master?
That is going to be a hard one to explain. As I've already told you, he's been dabbling in multiversal travel and even time travel. Executing this plan is a very delicate, careful thing. I believe my master is on a converging timeline at this moment. And how that works, I barely understand. I just know that he travels to a different place in time. He helps set certain events into motion, and our timeline converges on these events and then splits off. And so I don't know where he is. Probably on a timeline or a universe that is directly parallel to ours at this moment. Or he could be far in the past or far in the future on this timeline or a different timeline. There's no telling. All I know is my plan moving forward. Because the more I know, the more ripples I can create, and the further I can ruin the plan. So, here we are. I'll just go ahead and
Frederick.
tell you.
Go ahead.
Just gonna say I'll go ahead and tell you what we're doing here in the first layer of hell. Not very far from here is Corexius's fortress, and his kingdom essentially is here on the first layer. As you know, Corexius is the gatekeeper of Amirn, and whenever he was smited by Torna eons ago, he took with him her mace, legendary artifact that he could not destroy by his own power, so he had no choice but to lock it away. That's what we're here to get. I know that it is in a vault that is within some sort of citadel. I don't know exactly how to get it out, but that's what we're here to do. That's what we have to do in order for the avatar of Torna to rise and be able to defeat Corexius once again. That's our only hope. And so, Ran, you might not have realized your full potential yet, but you're going to need to figure that out before we get to the mace. So again, we have a short time to rest here, because as we speak, the avatar of Corexius is traversing the land of Telestia, collecting the orbs to start the ritual to summon Corexius to the material plane. So we have to get this mace and go fight that avatar and destroy it and scatter the orbs before Corexius can destroy everything. And that is all I know.
I feel like while all this is going on, the moment that he said, feel free to look around, Frederick immediately has been just kind of, I'm keeping an ear out, like listening to what he's been talking about, so I know what's going on, but like, I'm like ruffling through things and just looking and just not necessarily taking things, but if I do see something of interest, I definitely might, depending on what it is, might take it, you know?
Okay. Make an investigation check.
Once we get through this conversation, I'll also see if I can start looking through things, since he said that we might be able to take stuff to use that might aid us.
Okay.
But he can go, obviously go first since he's doing during talking. I'll do it after he's finished talking, after Fitzrollo.
Yeah. You can go ahead and roll on investigation too.
Do we have time to rest?
I highly suggest that you do. We have to regain all of our strength in order to conquer this citadel.
Will we be safe here while we rest?
Yes. This tower has remained here for centuries, and there are certain spells and glyphs of warding that lets this tower sit in Crexius's realm without his detection.
And what will you be doing while we're resting?
I'm going to be going over the plan thus far, making sure that all the events are aligning. And just waiting until you're ready. Because this is where my expertise comes to an end. And this is where the Unbroken must take the charge. I don't even know much about how to traverse Amirn. I don't spend a lot of my time here. But if you need me, I will be at my desk. And I go and I sit down and I crack open a journal and I just begin reviewing.
Okay.
Are we all investigating?
If you'd like to, you can.
Because I mean, immediately Rand's like, okay, so it sounds like we don't know where to go. We don't know how to get there. And there may or may not be stuff in here that can help us.
Yeah, if you want to look for stuff, just investigate.
Investigation.
All right. So as you all find yourself familiar with this tower, some of you will spend a little bit of time just kind of filling through some things, kind of keeping that note in the back of your head that this is an Archmage's tower, and so all of you seem to be doing, like, you're being very careful with what you find. Frederick, you kind of started shuffling through some things first, looking for whatever may come of value, but a lot of the things you end up finding, like, you'll find like a cool book, and as you try to open it, it's like sealed completely shut, and you're like, oh. Then you think you find a really cool item, and you go to get it, and there's like this purple orb that surrounds it, and you try to like grab it and touch it, and it just won't let you. And the more that you attempt to shuffle through things, the more you find that, like, it seems like everything has its own glyph or something on it that is like keeping you from actually seeing what this is. Some things you can actually grab and pick up, but then there seems to be some sort of puzzle attached to it, and you wonder if it's even worth maybe trying to figure some of this stuff out. You spend some time digging, and the only thing that, Frederick, you end up finding is a loose paper that doesn't seem to have anything, or rather scroll that doesn't seem to be guarded or protected, and part of you is a little nervous to even like open it because you don't know what'll happen, but you just can't help yourself as you open it to start figuring out what this scroll is. You find, I'm gonna put it on your character.
Like, I do speak a lot of different languages, so if there is anything in a different language, let me know.
Okay. Here we go. I just put it in your journal.
Okay.
Corin, as you investigate, before you find anything of value, you're like moving something and some stuff shuffles off of the side of a desk, and you see what looks like some sort of inscription or writing that is on the side of the wall. And you take a moment to kind of look at it. You scrape some stuff away to see that there are some events that seemingly have been inscribed on the wall. And what you see is figures, 4 of you. And it seems like you're trying to like piece together, like, okay, it looks like there's like a temple, and these 4 figures are in this temple, and they're doing some things. And it kind of fast forwards to, okay, now there's 5 figures, and they seem to be like traveling somewhere, doing something. It's kind of hard to put it all together, but as you do, you start to see that these are 5 figures. Like, it switches from 4 to 5 several times, but then you see these 5 figures right before this very large tower inscribed on the wall. And you're looking at that, and it's like, this kind of looks familiar. At the same time, Ran, you're kind of on another side of the room, and you see some similar inscriptions, and you see some things written out. And what you see is there are figures holding what looks like this crystal, and you vaguely begin to remember some of the events that happened when doing so. And you see that one of the figures is marked Corin, and you see that in another event inscription, Corin is like holding the crystal, and then in another inscription, an image in some imagery that is used, you see that this crystal like has overtaken Corin's life, and then in another image, it shows the obsidian figure, the obsidian man that you'd seen previously. As you both are searching, you find, and you're on opposite ends of like the room, essentially.
And does that look like that tower like we're at right now that I have found?
Yeah, you're able to kind of think that like this is almost like detailing events to where you're at.
Right.
This could potentially, like that, what you're seeing could potentially be the now. But you're also in the back of your mind thinking everything that this guy has told you is, he's talked about multiverse, he's talked about time, dimensions. There's so much floating in your head. You don't know. But part of you feels like this is about your group. And Ren, you're kind of thinking the same, but it's after the egg and after some of these events, it kind of continues on to show like this large figure destroying the landscape, and a lot of it is kind of messy, and there's paperwork everywhere that is not greatly organized, and you see that there are just different versions of some of these things some of these events that you've traveled through as a team. One being that there's another event that Rand finds that details kind of approaching Blackstone, even to find that all of the civilians were basically killed before them, and one of them would include Sonny, Rand, that you find. Seems like there's a lot of different events that didn't happen the way you experienced them. Leaf, while they're doing this, you are investigating, and you're having trouble finding anything that works. And actually, you find an item that's just like you try to open it. It's like some kind of amulet that like normally would click open, and you're like trying to click it open, but it won't. And the actual amulet itself pops open like a mouth, and it's like, "Stop trying to open me!" And then it clicks shut.
That's great. I like that.
I hear this and I just go, oh yeah, I probably wouldn't try to open that.
I feel like Leaf like gives up halfway through looking and just follows Fitzrollo to his office. And if there is a door, she is going to shut it. And we are going to have a private conversation.
Okay. You walk up to what looks like kind of a room. It's not very big. I mean, you're just kind of more in like a wizard's tower and less of like a house or anything like that. And so the tower is tall that it has multiple floors, but each floor isn't like super huge. And so you do kind of find your way to where Fitzrollo's desk is, and it's really in more of like a side room. There's not much there, but it's probably where he goes to find maybe some quiet, to study, some peace. And there is a door that Fitzrollo, you notice that the halfling Leaf walks through the door, and she reaches up to grab the door and actually shuts it.
I'm going to get up from my desk. And I'm going to open the door. Just kind of look in and say, if you seek some privacy, you have but to ask. But it is of the utmost importance that we are in this together. If you are wanting to plan something without me, or if you have any
No.
questions on the timeline there on the wall, please include me.
I want to talk to you
Oh,
without them.
sorry. She closed herself in.
Yes.
Okay, sorry. Play that back.
You're
then.
trapped in there with her.
I misunderstood.
You have gotten Leaf.
Gotcha.
You've
In
been
that
to-
case, I just turn around and I say, yes, Leaf.
I don't know you. I don't trust you. But I have questions. And you're the only one here that can answer them.
Please ask.
Is this because he threw the bag of holding in the ocean? Is this because I couldn't stop him?
I don't know how events have played out for you. But what I thought would happen is that the Unbroken would bring the crystal to Blackstone, where Corrin would atone with it in order to defeat the king, becoming the Obsidian Man, unknowingly continuing Crexius's plan. So I was surprised to see that the Obsidian Man was there, and so was Corrin. I don't know how he got there.
You seem to know everything else about what's happened. You seem to know everything about this crystal and how everything is supposed to go. Why didn't it come after me? I'm the one that stabbed it.
Don't know.
It was in my head. Not Corin's. Mine.
I just don't know. But I will tell you this. No other timeline that me and my master have experienced together has played out like this one. So I don't know if we all die here and some other versions of the Unbroken across the multiverse are going to be the ones to actually carry out this plan. I don't know what fate awaits us. And I'm scared too. But all I know is that our only chance of doing anything is getting that mace and getting it to Ran and letting the gods decide what happens from there on out.
The last thing I saw you do was cast spells trying to kill my friends. And I will tell you right now, if you harm a single hair on any of their heads, you will not walk away if it is the last thing I do.
This plan fails. None of us are walking away.
I
So
don't
you and
care
both
about the
have nothing
plan.
to lose.
I don't care about the plan. I don't care about Crexius. I care about them.
Well, for what it's worth, I can give you my word that their survival means my survival. I have no backup plan if this doesn't work. And I feel your pain, and I feel your frustration.
You don't. I've placed trust in too many people and been hurt too many times, and I have watched the only person that I had left die. I will not watch that again, and it will not be by your hand. Just know, they may follow you blindly because you say that you know all of these things. I don't trust you, and I never will.
All I can ask is that you stay true to your friends.
Leif is going to open the door and start walking out and turn around. Oh, and by the way, don't mention the gods to Corin.
I just kind of look down in bewilderment, and I just turn around and go back to my notes.
At some point this long rest, I will also go find Fitzrollo to have a conversation.
Okay. You choose to go in after, like right after leave, or sometime
No, I was
later?
just saying just at some point during during our long rest.
Okay. I'm sure some
I assume
time
we're going to get a
passes.
long rest in.
Do we find anything like that's of interest besides because we got the lore or anything? Do we find anything that may or may not be
Helpful,
useful that we are
or-
looking to potentially take with us?
Yeah, I will.
Was there like continuing the timeline of what happens next? And like, where do we find the kingdom? I guess the castle or where we're supposed to be going to. Like, if we kept looking down that timeline, like, is there another picture, or does it just end with the tower?
It doesn't like show direction, but it just kind of
Like maybe what
like-
it looks like or anything like that.
Yeah, I mean, you just kind of see like, and even on paper and things like that. Like some of this is written on like scrolls and things like that. You don't really ever find direction, but you do see what seems to be like some sort of citadel or tower that's been inscribed, and in that seems to be like this shining object, which would look like it may be maybe what you're searching for. But yeah,
Okay.
seems like it may be a tower or a citadel or something.
Gotcha. I'm just gonna try to remember in my mind, so if we see anything on the landscape that's similar, we'll be able to kind of point that out.
Okay.
But yeah, is there anything other like useful? Like, do we find any like Maybe scrolls or potions or
Yeah, so
something that's not warded.
looking around, you don't find much. I mean, like most things you find are just blocked or warded or whatever. You do find Corin. You find a greater potion of healing that
Okay.
seems like it's safe. And looking at it, you're familiar with it. You know that that's what this is. You could pocket that.
Okay.
As well as a scroll that you think may be useful. I'm putting it in your inventory now.
Okay. Thank you.
And then Ran, I'm also putting a scroll that you would have found that seems to be useful in your inventory. And yeah, you can you're free to go and visit Fitzrolo.
Yep. Just
Hello, Corin.
close the door behind me.
Oh, running jokes. Running
Yep.
jokes.
One thing that's been sticking out in my head ever since we met you. Again, I don't trust you. Why were you surprised that I was around with everybody else when we woke up? You seemed shocked or bewildered that I was there.
I think it's safe at this point, to be honest with you. But in every other timeline that me and my master have studied, you, Corin, were Crexius's avatar. He chose you. You attuned with his crystal. And you knowingly betrayed your friends. The
And
fact
almost
that the obsidian man is running around and you're still here shows me that you didn't do that. And maybe that means you won't do that. But there's a lot of events that are already taking place that are way different than anything that I've studied yet.
crazy
yeah.
question. Just because you're I guess the person asked about multiversal stuff. Way out of context. Could this be a variant of me, or does it have to be somebody from this timeline in order to become an avatar?
Don't know. I truly don't know. Perhaps my master would, but my knowledge is vastly inferior to his on everything. I don't know. That's all I can tell you.
Well, I don't know about those other corns, but I won't betray my brother, and I won't betray the rest.
I've had a conversation with Cephas in this very tower before as well. I see he didn't make it.
He betrayed us.
Interesting.
That was the other multiversal. Everything in this timeline is an Everyone else over there is like a eh.
I don't know
Or an
why.
E.
Part of me was really hoping he would have said syphilis or something.
I don't know why, but I thought he was saying syphilis.
Because that would have been so funny, because that's what I was calling him before, and if in another dimension or another reality his name was syphilis.
We're making
Yes,
fun of
I would.
you because it's pronounced
Matt.
Cephas.
We're not making fun of him.
No, we're
we're
not making fun of
hazing him.
I was defending him. He's dealt with multiple versions of people.
It's
He's seen this
it's
played
true.
out. He almost killed my
You-
brother. He betrayed us. He worked for the Black Hand. We killed him before we went to the chamber to face off against the king and you.
Interesting. Now so far, I've encountered 3 major ripples. 1, Waren's name is different. You're here and
Cannon, baby.
Cephas is not. So, I don't know what lies ahead. But as soon as everyone is rested enough to continue, I'll lead you through our hidden route here in Emirn that leads directly to Crexius' citadel.
So you do know how to get to the Citadel.
I do, yes. I don't know what lies inside of it. Just know that somewhere in it there is a vault, and in that vault is Torna's mace.
Before we talk about that, I know you said it doesn't matter. I need to know what you gave Excipio, what knowledge you gave him. You may say he's no threat, but he is a threat to me. I've made a life vow to find him and kill him.
I gave him knowledge of a very powerful spell. It's the one that I used against the Unbroken to nullify any magical spells from getting into the castle.
That shimmering wall that we couldn't penetrate?
Yes. I don't know what he'll do with it, but in order to be in the exact moment where I could meet all of you, that's what had to happen. I hope that helps you. And I hope that wins me some of your trust.
No offense. It doesn't, because if it turns out later I cannot kill Excipio because of this ability, I'm going to remember this moment and I'm going to be very pissed. But if we live that long to deal with it, then I'll cross that bridge when I come to it. And I don't know about Torna, and I don't know about anything. I know the gods, whatever, they're there, they exist. But I do believe my brother, and my brother will make the correct choice. But it's not because of some fate or will that Torna or whatever the other fucking gods want. It's because my brother stood up and he fought, and that we fought. I don't see her down here. I don't see them down here. We're not here to let them decide. This is our lives. This is our world. This is our fate. We make the choices, not them. And I just leave before he says anything.
Once again, just turn around and look at my book.
And then Frederick bursts into the room. Hey! No, I'm just kidding.
You bump into Rand as Rand's trying to get in there too.
No, it's my turn.
There's just a long line.
A long
Older
line
person
of-
shoes. Let's go.
And then Steven comes in.
along the line of, hey, I don't trust you, and I don't like you, and I have lots of questions, but I just want you to know I don't trust you.
Hey, this is how we treat every new person in our party. We don't trust anybody for a long time.
Yeah.
No,
Except
so I
for
feel like-
Leaf.
That was kind of we're all about to die if we don't do something.
It's kind of a trauma bonding moment, I think.
I feel like Frederick would actually walk in and actually be like, I trust you. I see you're taking us in the right path. But I feel like everybody else would just be like, no, I don't trust you.
Cool.
Trust is earned.
Well, after those, is anybody else wanting to do anything else? You wanting to talk to each other?
Rand's gonna go find somewhere to rest.
Okay.
I'm just gonna while I'm resting, I'm just gonna keep exploring around and just reading any notes that might be helpful to us.
Okay.
And spend the next few hours doing that before we have to leave.
Okay. All right. Well, you all spend probably around maybe 6 hours or so. Try not to spend too much time because you kind of are on a time limit. You try to get as much rest as you can, and I'll say all of you do benefit from a long rest. So you get some.
Woo.
Some of you get some sleep. You all feel very achy. You're still in a place that is not cool. It's very hot. It's very. You feel like something is always like watching you, maybe, or rather that there's just always danger nearby, and that's just part of being here in this place. Not in the tower, but just on this plane of existence. I'd say after about that set of time, some of you may be getting up, kind of prepping yourselves and getting ready for wherever you're headed next, wherever Fitzrolo has for you all. This is where we're gonna end off our session.
I fucking knew it. I knew
Figured we
it.
would get to here.
I knew it. Yeah, I knew either ending here or ending right before the city, like right after the route.
Yeah.
Do we level up?
I will say honestly, because we just fought the dragon.
And you told us to roll level 10 characters.
Yeah, if we all bully him
he told
enough, we
Joel.
might be able to level up.
Bully
Is that what he
me.
told Joel?
We're all
The
gonna
only
create a union.
thing more stingy with levels than Nat 20 is the rank bot in the Discord.
Hey, I think I just went up to level 18 in that.
Let them level up.
Yeah, you guys can level up once.
Let's go.
Yeah!
Level just once. Oh, okay.
Oh, just
once.
Ugh.
Level 10. We're finally in double
that
digits.
I sent you.
What? We can't be level 20 already?
Hmm?
Holy shit.
Man.
Level 10. I'm going to have to take, yeah, this is going to be off stream. I'm going to figure this out.
So, Mr.
Also-
DM, sir,
Oh, go ahead.
that idea that I sent you,
Yeah.
are you cool with it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
She's going to assassinate,
Yeah.
She's going to assassinate me.
Uh-oh.
Does Rand feel different? I've been meaning to ask that for like the last half hour.
Like, in what way? Like waking up from death, or being on the first plane of hell, or maybe something else.
Is there anything that clicks when he's told that he might be the avatar of Torna? Like, does he feel any? Is he getting any kind of sense that like all of this is lining up, or I don't know. I don't know how. I don't want to be like, can he tell that he might be something?
Yeah, Rand doesn't really know. This information being given to him is very. It's kind of crazy, probably, to hear for him, and so right now he's not really feeling different. If anything, he might be feeling like a lot of pressure, but at the same time, even maybe a little bit of disbelief. This is like a huge thing, and it's not really something you ever thought of in your past. Like, even up till you just had been told. It's never really something that you had thought about before. So, but there's no like clicking moment that's like, oh my gosh, he's right. Like you still don't really know for sure.
He's starting to believe.
They do exist. All right. Oh God. Level
10? That's
10?
crazy.
Do we roll or do we average?
I think you do either or, right?
I think I said that if you roll and you get higher than your average, you can do that. But if you roll and get less than your average, take your average. So it benefits you no matter what. Yeah.
So do we want to know about this week's episode of Drew Doesn't Know How to Play Necromancer?
Sure.
Cool. So last game it was Drew doesn't know how to play wizard in general. Now it's a subset and Drew doesn't know how to play necromancer. So remember how over the campaign when I've been killing things after level 6, I was like, oh, I could kill it. Boom. Awesome. Oh, it's a necromantic spell? Perfect. Boom. Reap life. Technically, I reap life out of all my spells. I reap life twice the spell's level from any spell. It's 3 times its level if my spell belongs to the school of necromancy. I missed that whole sentence before. So I only read the 3 times if it spells necromancy, and then just completely forgot. So all these other times we've died or like been no close to death, whatever, and I've like whatever with people like blight or something like that. I should have been taking some health.
I did forget about that too. Yeah, could have been passive, like kind of healing almost passively.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that I got to remember that because I remembered it for the necromancy. That's why I was like, oh, I didn't kill him with a necromantic spell. I was like, okay, it doesn't matter. I need to pay attention to my character.
Yeah.
I now have divine intervention.
Oh god, that's the moment. Grabs the mace, divine intervention, rolls the level you need.
I mean, it's a 10% chance to
Hey,
be able to do it, but
My speed is now 50, and I can run on
Jesus.
water.
how?
I can run on vertical surfaces and water
Monks,
or
man.
liquids.
Monks. That's just it.
I have 97 hit points as well, so that's kind of nice.
Awesome. What do you what do you guys think about everything that's happened this session?
I was very worried that I was going to have to sit here and use my backup character that I haven't fleshed out a name for, anything like that. Like I didn't know what to expect. Like I had my thought process was that this could go in a whole bunch of different directions depending on what you wanted to do.
Cool.
oh, sick. I'm resistant now to necrotic. I'm resistant now to necrotic damage, and my hit point maximum cannot be reduced.
Can I just click all of the spells?
Oh, that was my other thing. I'm now immune to poison and
Immune?
thing.
Oh, because you're a monk.
Yeah.
I'm immune to damage.
Yeah, I'm immune
Wow,
to
this is really
everything.
interesting.
Wow.
That's so interesting. I didn't know life clerics worked that way.
Yeah, me neither. I'll have to figure out another way to cause some trauma for Rain.
Emotional damage.
I'm interested to hear what your guys' like secondary characters would have been.
Yeah. Why don't you go talk about that real quick?
Mine was a wood elf twilight cleric. I don't have a name for her, but she's pretty awesome. Really glad I don't have to play her though.
I was going to go Hexadin. So Hexblade Paladin.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So I've been trying to play around with at level 10 what was the different kind of balance that I'd want between that, because there's a bunch of different things you can do depending on how many levels you take in both, but yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, Oath of Vengeance, and just go out wrecking smites left and right, casting off shields and stuff like that, and having auras.
That's cool.
I kind of want to play, after reading about it, I kind of want to play like a level 18 paladin, just being able to have like a 30-foot aura and like these bonuses that you're able to provide to your party, and just, oh, that'd be so cool.
Or like Spirit Guardians, but better in every way.
Yeah.
I heard the thing is you always play cleric. Is that true?
No, but I don't mind it. I think that they're really, you can do a lot with them, and they're very oh geez, what word am I looking? Wait, they have a lot of utility, and they can fill in a lot of gaps depending on what you want to do with them.
Cool.
I had two characters in mind. One of them I was probably gonna try and bring back my Crystal Dragonborn paladin, and just do tons and tons of radiant damage. I was probably gonna mess with like maybe multiclassing in cleric, domain of light.
That's cool.
There was that one, but the other one that I was most likely going to do was a turtle druid circle of spores. I wanted him to be like a snapping turtle and just big, kind of elderly, and I wanted him to have like moss and small mushrooms growing on him, and I wanted him to have like a mossy like beard kind of growing.
Wow.
Turtles can't grow actual beards, but I wanted him to have just moss just kind of dangling down like a beard.
That could be cool.
I wanted do you guys know the joke in Star Wars when Obi-Wan is like pocket sand?
Oh.
I wanted it to be with like Turtle Druid to have you can have poison spray as a cantrip. So I wanted to do that as like pocket spores.
That's cool.
Like throw a mushroom at him.
Yeah.
That would have been funny.
Wow. That's cool. Yo,
It's been interesting to play it though, because he has an armor class of 17 as a turtle. Because they can't wear armor, but they just have a natural armor class of 17. So would have been interesting.
I've been sitting here going like the last week, like going over like my notes and stuff that we had in our journals, and I was like, what about this storyline, and what about this piece of information, and if this ends,
Right.
I need answers. I have questions.
Wow. Yeah, I do want to say thanks to Talkboy for joining.
Yeah, that was great, man.
Thanks a
You're
lot.
awesome.
That was really well done.
Thanks, guys. I had a
We're
ton
glad
of
to have you
fun.
along. Good.
Yeah,
I
hope
promise we like you out of game. In game, a lot of shit's happened to our characters. So
I got you. No, it's cool.
we're all a little bit sensitive about new people.
Dude, yes, that was so fun for me just now, getting into that character and
That was awesome.
getting to be a part of this legendary campaign.
Hey,
Pretty cool.
yeah, I'm gonna
It's been so much fun.
I'm gonna have to like take more time. There's so many spells I don't even know what to pick.
Yeah, take some time. Let me know if you have questions or if anything sounds cooler.
Or
I'll help you
should
out.
I be looking up outside of this, like on just in general, if there isn't a spell on here that might be? Didn't you say something like that before in the beginning of our campaign? You said that not every spell that you might is not on this roll 20.
Yeah, it's not
That we can
because
pick?
I haven't purchased every book that goes with Roll20, so not every spell in the game is there. If you want like a spell outside of that, I think there's a way to add it. I'm not sure.
Yes, you can manually add spells. So on your spell page, below any of the levels, you'll see the plus button. Click on that, and then it'll give you a form basically that you fill out. So you'll put in the name of the spell, the school of magic,
Right.
requirements, distance, casting time, description,
Yeah. So
damage, components, verbal semantic, like all of that. You can basically build one up. Even it's gonna give you the chance to put in everything that you need that it would need for you to click on and then post it into the chat or roll or anything like that.
Okay.
Um,
I might look it up and talk to you, Nat, about that.
yeah, that'd be awesome.
so can I?
No. The answer is no.
Why? So do we wake up leveled up, or like can I bond to my weapons before?
Are you asking? Is it part of like a level 10 thing?
Yeah, I get weapon bond.
Okay.
And I want to do my dragon sword and one of my daggers.
Gotcha. What does weapon bond do exactly?
I put it in chat.
I did put it in chat.
I mean, because I'm kind of leaning
That's
to
what
like
that sound means.
we could probably do that. You leveled up before you went to sleep, essentially. So if you wanted, like, as you're resting, essentially you're like discovering these better qualities about yourselves as you're studying, and that was part of your long rest.
Because if you're okay with me
Yeah.
doing it, I would bond to my sword and one of my daggers.
Yeah, I would say you probably could. You could have done that.
Cool.
That's pretty cool. Sweet, y'all. Well, is there anything else? How do you guys feel about the multiversal stuff?
That wasn't something I was not expecting.
No.
I'm intrigued.
Yeah,
I was not expecting that.
that's cool.
I should have. I should have guessed it because I know both Nat20 and I have talked, at least a while ago, have talked when I had my campaigns going on, the possibility of doing like a multiversal kind of thing. But the way you're doing it now, I wouldn't have guessed this. So I'm excited.
Yeah, I've always thought multiverse in D&D is really cool. I wasn't sure if this is where this was gonna go, but I really just kind of fleshing it out. I talked with Talkboy a lot, and we kind of collaborated a little bit on how this is gonna go. And yeah, but a while back I was really considering some earlier multiverse stuff, and I was gonna see if Glitchy would like want to do some cool shared campaign type stuff, but it didn't really seem to ever take fruition, and that's okay. But yeah, multiverse, man, anything can happen.
He told me that I could play a wizard, and I just made all that up.
I was wondering, why is he typing so fast while you're explaining this stuff? What are you doing? Why are you saying that? That wasn't the plan.
This is off
He's
the
gone
rails.
rogue.
Could you imagine? Oh gosh.
This is off the rails.
I would like to say that with my level up, I did take a touch of learning from Corin.
What'd you
What?
learn?
Undead.
Yeah. What'd you learn?
I learned false life
Hey.
and other
cool.
spells.
Hey.
Necromancy.
Slowly infecting the party, one person at a time. We all can potentially become vessels for Craxius. Just little dots of necromantic powers around. Then we Guardians of the Galaxy it. It's too much for one person, but if we all could share the power.
God.
Wow.
This is a way to defeat Crexius that Fitzrolo
Yes.
hasn't yet explored.
There you go.
We become Crexius.
Yeah. Craxius to kill Craxius.
As soon as you
I
said
got-
multiverse, I instantly was like, nope, I must become the Deadpool of this multiverse.
It's like you
There you
thought
go.
Marvel was cool, bro. Your D&D campaign is going multiverse. Okay.
This is gonna get crazy.
I just got one question for y'all before you end the stream. Who's ready for some hell? And fight some bots and bugs. And drop it in.
baby.
I can play any other night the rest of the week. I am
Don't do this.
going to bed.
Yeah, I have to be at work at 8 a.m. So
Well,
Going
I'm
to
a
bed at
stay-at-home
7,
dad, so
11,
and I don't
8?
have the baby right now, so I could
it's
play.
10 o'clock here, bud.
No, for Rob.
Oh,
It is 8:00. I still need to eat dinner, and greet my wife and make up for whatever I did to make her mad before she left. So, I need
Oh
to
yeah,
do
go
that.
do that. Yeah, go do that.
Yeah, go do that.
Ooh,
So if we
nice.
don't hear
Bubble.
from
Nat,
him,
if you want to go kill some bugs and bots, if you're not,
I would love,
if you're-
but no, seriously, I would love to play. You let me know what your schedule. Anybody that wants to play, let me know your guys' schedule the rest of the week. I'm more than glad to hop on and have some fun.
sounds good.
So
Cool.
cool.
That's,
Hey,
well, that's
cool.
what I'm heading to now. So anybody wants to join me, come on over.
I'll probably be playing Pal World tomorrow night, just so you guys know.
Hey,
There we go. Nice. I
don't get mad and walk away like whatever happened last time.
Who? What'd you do?
I attacked a level 31 Mammoth at level 19.
Oh yeah, no, the level difference, punishing, very
Well,
punishing, and
see, I figured it wouldn't be as bad because
Nope.
it was like in my base
Power
and I had
powers.
everybody there to like back me up. But no,
Punch hours,
they all died.
yeah, yeah. It's still fun. I've uncovered the entire map.
I haven't yet. I'm still
Wow.
working
Yeah.
on that.
And they said, hey, this is gonna take a while for DLC. Just go play another game. It's fine. You're not gonna hurt our
Oh
feelings.
yeah,
We
no,
don't,
no,
we don't mind the
they've been
player
really
count dropping. He
cool.
said, well, we hope you guys come back. Yeah, they've been really nice.
They've been really cool about it, and they made $189 million.
Yeah.
So they have plenty of money to do a lot more things, and it'll come eventually. So there's still a lot for me to do. I'm trying to find all the things and catch all the pals, and the other thing I need to do is the next thing is like, because now I'm up there. I got to start building like the next level, like the level 2 assembly lines for the different stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So that's
Well,
been
Awesome.
a grind trying to
Y'all,
collect everything. Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and in stream, but I just wanted to say thank you all for making this
Dude, thanks so much,
possible
man.
and
Yeah.
super fun.
Well, see you over there, Nat?
Always.
I think I'm gonna try and hop on. I'll let you know for sure.
All right. Sounds good.
All right, guys.
Bye, guys.
Thanks a lot.
Bye, love you,
Bye,
Rob.
guys.
Bye. Love you too,
Looking
buddy.
forward to play with you, top boy. See you next time.
Oh, thanks, man. See ya.
Hasta
See
pasta.
y'all.
See you guys.
I might jump on some Helldivers later on too.
Sweet.
But-
Yeah, that's my plan.
Yeah. Anyways, peace.
See you, bro. All right, stream. We're gonna end it off here. Let me try to fix my camera. There we go. Hey, stream. Thank you guys so much for being a part. This has been an awesome session, and I can't wait to see what happens next for the Unbroken and man, for this campaign. Hey, if you're still here, make sure to like this video and you know, comment after it's over what you think, and share it with your friends. And again, thank you guys so much. And if you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button. That would help me out greatly. Love you all. I'll see you next time. Peace out, y'all.